As I want all of you to leave with the knowledge of understanding why batch records came in picture at first place, and what are the direct and indirect costs that you are going through right now, and why you should say goodbye to the paper batch records. At the same time, I'll be able to help you and make you understand how you should be choosing the right electronic batch record, and what is there beyond manufacturing. At the same time, how you can have a roadmap for manufacturing digital transformation. So why do we have batch record at first place? So we understand that the prime significance of batch record is to record the activities that are going across the manufacturing, to track the activities what has been completed or are going to be done. We want to verify if it was done as per the SOP, as per the procedure, or as per the expected quality. At the same time, in case if there is any incident or deviation, we want to trace back and understand where actually we know that if it gets spoiled, there is another set of we are raising another deviation for it. Delayed entries. I might start an equipment at morning 10, but I'm confident enough that by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll be able to fare the entries. That's not how it will be, because at 4 o'clock, I might think that I started the equipment at 10:30. That's where the deviation is occurring, and which can turn out to be a bigger observation. Transcriptional error. Everybody has their own way of writing the numbers or alphabets for that matter. So these things, what we are doing, can be eliminated. So one person can start the machine at 10:30, then they'll be they have their own way of writing it. When going forward, the other person might take it in another way. So the process might be elongated or it might be shortened. So these kind of indirect cost should also be considered. Now coming to the end-to-end batch recording part, we need to understand that segmentation, how it is done across our manufacturing. The first thing is the MBR, which is master batch record. You will be taking the moment the product comes from R&D, you'll be preparing a master batch record for it, so that the issuance can be done. Once the issuance is done, the material weighing and dispensing part has to be done. The warehouse has to be given the material requisition slip, which is telling them that we need this much amount of material for respective batch. Post that, we'll be doing a control issuance of the batch record, where we'll be giving the details such as your number of like the BPRs that are going to be made, or the batch number and respective export details that are required. Then we'll be going for the clearances, which is your logbook entries, when the cleaning was started, when was cleaning completed, and the operations part of it. Post to that, we'll be having in-process checks. Now, this in-process checks, you have to deal with several instruments, especially for the formulation companies. You might have your hardness, thickness, friability, disintegration, weighing balance. You have to have proper calibrated instruments for doing this activity. Finally, the batch closure part. It has to be reviewed by two departments. Production doing it, the first level of review, and this next is done by the QA. And the final dossier, which has to be generated to see that this dossier is going to a customer or a regulatory body, and it need to adhere all the requirements that is expected of them. Coming to the manufacturing automation pyramid, we all understand that in any given manufacturing area, there are 4 levels of automation pyramid that you can do. The first level is your control level, which is your basic equipment, which might have PLC, SCADA, or a control panel that you're presently using with. And then once you want to upgrade yourself to your supervisory level, that is where comes in the SCADA, which is supervisory control and data acquisition, which ensures that the equipment is 21 CFR Part 11 compliant. Coming forward, the MES level, which takes care of your batch records and the activities across the batch records. So all the entries that you're making will be done in the system, the online batch execution entries. The fourth level is your ERP. It can be a SAP as well for your planning and financial part of the manufacturing. Now we have spoken about the indirect cost, the direct cost, the automation pyramid, how it works, what are the problems that we will be facing. But it would be not good of me if I'm not able to tell you what is the best solution that is available and how you can go forward with it. I think Caliber BRM, which is batch record management, is one of the best solution. Hopefully I'll justify the same, because what we have as an approach is integrated MES, which we call, where you see on the right hand side is a paper on glass, which is nothing but automating your batch manufacturing and packing records and executing them online. On the other hand side, you have the machine integration, which is the production and the process based PLCs and SCADAs. The reason why we did like this is we believe that production is a very significant and critical area where any automation you want to do, you want to be very much thorough with it, and any stoppage in the production will will cause a direct impact. Now if you see, we give you an option. You can start your batch record, just making it online executable, and then you can go forward with your execution. Down the line you will feel that okay, right now I'm comfortable with entering the data online. I want to bring the process parameters as well from the machine equipment. Good to go. You'll just integrate from the machines and pull in the data that is required into the BMR. Now there might be other scenario as well. You want to integrate your machines first and then go for the paper on glass, which is online batch records, electronic batch records. Or you want to start both, but at the same time we are ensuring both act independent and share the data mutually to ensure the process is run smooth and does not cause any delay or difference in the productivity. As I mentioned, like we are very much concerned about how the people are going to use our product, how convenient we can make it for them to use our product. Now this has ensured us that when we were developing the product, we took care of all parts and dimensions of it. When you see the screen, these are the modules which can be implemented and used independent and dependent of each other. The primary module, which is control EBR, stands for control electronic batch record, which will take care of your preparation, designing, issuance and execution of your batch record. Now the next thing is the material management. In case you have any ERP or SAP at place, no problem, we will pull in the material requisition slip data and then you will be able to do the material dispensing. In case you don't have that, we have a full-fledged, from the moment your material enters into the organization, which is like material in Word, we'll be able to log that data in the system. At the same time, the material lot qualification, the material lot requalification, expiry date, your FIFO, FEFO rules will also be taken care of. Then we have the instrument integration. As mentioned, we have 3 levels of instrument integration at our place. The first level is with your weighing balances in your material dispensing, online dispensing. The second level is with your in-process instruments. As I mentioned, the multi-check, friability, disintegration, we'll be able to connect with them. Now the third level is directly with your PLCs and SCADAs to pull in the process parameters. Now the next thing is the in-process quality check. Now this module stands out for any formulation or any person in the manufacturing, because we know that how much hectic of a process it is for the in-process. Now we know that there are several schedules and frequencies that happens all together. There will be a production department schedule who are supposed to go and take the sample. There is a QA department schedule that is supposed to go and take the sample and test it. Now this module will take care of all of that. Additionally, we are providing you the calculations. So the test results which are coming directly or entered through manually, those values, the results value will be calculated for you. Example like your average, mean, STD, RSD, uniformity. These calculations will be done by the system. On to that, we will be providing you feasibility of having trends and charts so that you can make your business decisions in much easier way as you are doing right now. with that, you will be having very detailed workflow, because in a compression machine there is a LHS and RHS part of it. We have taken care of that as well, where the samples coming from both the systems are recorded and accounted for. The last module, which is the best I can say of all, is the e-log, which will take care of all your electronic logs. Honestly, if I would say, logbooks are very underestimated part of manufacturing, but it is the most significant and important part of it. Because if you see from a perspective of how important it is in keeping in aligned to the batch record, you know it. I need not tell you much. So we will be automating all the logbooks available in the production shop floor. At the same time, when I said all, I mean it with respect to other department as well, which we will be speaking in detail. Now, finally, the LIMS and QMS integration. When we are talking about end-to-end automation, we want to ensure that the other departments, the data pulling and pulling out, you want to make the full use of the digitalization that is available ahead of you. We will be able to pull the data from the LIMS and send the data equally to the QMS system, which is quality assurance systems. If you have any, Caliber itself has a set of products for the same. So how Caliber eBRM is easy to use? First thing, with our experience, as Yara said, like we are here in the industry for more than 18 years, we understand how manufacturing works, and that is how we design the product, because we created a product in such a way that there is no dependency on dosage form or manufacturing type. So you might be saying like, I'm from API, will this product be able to serve my purpose? Yes, it will be able to do it, and it will be able to do it in much better manner than the available solutions in the market, because our designing is in such a way, because the reusable template and for efficient design ensures that whatever design you're doing it once, you will be able to reuse it for several different purposes. Now that is where you'll be saving your time. At the same time, we know what are the product dependent and independent templates. When I say this, there is a BOM which is dependent on the product, but there is a clearance template or a clearance table which is independent of the product, which doesn't change product to product, batch to batch, until and unless the facility is changed. But the BOM will change to each and every product wise. So these things are taken care of. Inbuilt validation cycles. After every master batch record, it has to go through a validation cycle. We wanted it to be much easier for the validation cycle as well. So we had brought in that feature in our system, where you will be able to do that validation cycle in the system itself, while your superiors or the supervisor will be able to review it in the system itself with all the reviews and comments they'll be able to give as remarks. Coming forward to the report configuration part of it. So everybody wants to have better reports, because that helps them gain knowledge and confidence over the fact that what's going on. So what we did was we have given the report configuration engine to the user itself. So we ensured that the user have the complete independence of designing the report as they like it and filtering it down as per their need. So this report configuration helped them in generating the data. Now these data can be downloaded as PDF or exported to Excel. At the time of audit, the auditor might see it directly in the system. No need for downloading it as well. Dossier generation with multiple options. When we are manufacturing, there are several attachments that will be done in the segment at the time of manufacturing. There might be your print slips, the weighing balance slips, or your details like in process sample labels of your packaging, or other details which cannot be entered manually in the system or recorded. For that, we have an option of taking pictures or attaching your PDF directly into the system. At the same time, you might want to hold on to some things with the final dossier that you're sending it to the customer. That is where, at the time of final dossier generation, you have the option to select what attachments you want to generate as the dossier and what not. Finally, easy to apply controls. So we all want a very good sequential way of executing batch records, and that is where the control comes in, to ensure that the manufacturing is going in a sequential manner. At the same time, unintentionally or intentionally, nobody is doing what they are not supposed to do. The system will take care of that, and that will cause you a less deviations, less incidents in the manufacture. This is a high level diagram of batch record, where whenever we get a batch record, we want to understand the whole part of it. So what we do first thing is the master format and logbook design. We sit down and we understand and break it down into header, body, journal instruction, footer. Then we have the simple masters, which we call it as like, which is one-time registration part. We'll do it. Then we have the cleaning, clearance formats, instruction as per S88. So the product adheres to the international standards of automation, which is your ISA 88 and 95 and ISA 8895 together. At the same time, your log sheets can be designed in process protocols. Now, as we have all of them, we start sequencing them. Then safety precautions are added, process routes are added, and finally yield reform, deviation reforms, batch closure reforms. So I understand, like of all the people that I've interacted with in the manufacturing, I know the calculation of yield is kind of like a troublesome part for the production people. So we have here a calculation formula feasibility. So you will be giving your formula here, and based on the input values, the system will calculate the yield percentage for you. Next thing, we don't want you to do any duplication work. If you have any SAP or ERP, we'll be able to pull the data from your SAP and ERP. At the same time, we'll pull the regular live data, which is process order, BOM details, material lots, and approved vendors. And we'll be going through a control batch issuance. At the same time, if in case you don't have any ERP, no problem. You can manually register a process order in the system and go forward with the batch issuance and execution. Now, as I mentioned about the instrument interface part, the Caliber EDAP, which takes care of the instrument and equipment interface part of it, at the time of excuse me, at the time of material dispensing, we'll be able to connect with the material weighing balances. All we need is RS-232 port, and we'll be able to connect it into our network. Next, clearances. Now we want, as we know that these are independent, these modules are independent of each other. We know that until and unless the area logbook, equipment logbook, and the checklist attached to it, we'll be discussing about checklist in detail in further slides. But until and unless your clearance is done, you cannot go forward, and the clearance is dependent on the log entries. Further, process instruction executions. So the process instruction executions, as mentioned, will be able to pull the parameters directly from the equipments and moving forward to the in-process checks. Again, interfacing with the in-process instruments, and forward finally the batch yield and closure. At the same time, in case you have SAP, we want to ensure that both the systems are at same place. In case if there is any material return, replacement that's happening in the process, we will be able to send back the updated material stocks in the SAP or ERP. At the same time, any incident that occurred in manufacturing, we want to integrate with your quality management solution, so that that incident can trigger a deviation in a quality management solution through application interface. At the same time, pull in the COA or COA related data in the LEMS. Other features which can be a treat to any manufacturing process is the material adjustment calculation. So based on the assay value, the purity value of any API, the system will do calculation for you, the material adjustments of the excipients or any other material. Label management, the system has their inbuilt own label management system, which will take care of your material dispensing labels, pre-dispensing, post-dispensing, post-receiving, all those labels. In-process sample alerts will take care of your in-process, like every half an hour, there is a alert for the user to go and collect the sample every 1 hour or 2 hours. So these frequency, whatever you will be defining, they'll be getting an alert to go and collect the sample. Calibration control. This is one very important point which I see in any manufacturing facility. There are high chances and risk of any operator or any production person using an instrument which is due for calibration or preventive maintenance. Now, this has caused several problems to existing pharma organizations, whether it was done intentionally or unintentionally. But here the system will take care of that part as well. If there is any instrument that is calibration due or preventive maintenance due, the system will take care of that part and not allow the operator or any other user to make an entry or use it further. Configurable workflow. So the system what we have out of the box, you will be able to use it because the workflows we know will be able to set it up as per your existing workflows. Finally, the user-friendly master preparation. So let us imagine there is a facility with around 100 products. Those 100 products have 4 different strengths. So that's like 400 BMRs, different BMRs. I have seen that those 400 BMRs have 60 to 70% of the formatting or the templating is same. Your clearance formats, your process instructions and all. The only thing that might change in a facility percentage wise will be the product dependent things, which is like BOM and other details, and at the same time the critical parameters part of it. The rest of it is almost same. Now this is where you'll be saving huge amount of time. Once you configure the product 1, you will be saving your time in designing the product 2. So the time you're going to spend on the product 3 will be lesser than the first one. Significantly, the time will decrease. I'm proud to say that one of our customers is able to prepare and get it approved, a batch record, within 45 minutes. With all of saying, it is justified to say why Caliber, you want to understand why Caliber is best in market. Customer first. Yes, everybody mentions customer first part, but we have been well appreciated by our users because those are the people who will give us genuine feedback for us, for our paper on glass model. It helps them because when they are making a transition from paper batch records to an electronic system, we want to ensure that they are not feeling much of a change, but at the same time, you or the management is not compromising on any of the compliance or regulatory part of it. Start small, go big. Now the flexibility that you have in the implementation and the rollouts part, you can start small. You can start with let us say a small module of e-log, automating your logbooks, and then being comfortable enough with that, you can expand yourself to the other modules. Now this flexibility will help you in going further. Extensive in-process. So the details which I've mentioned in the previous slides about the in-process checks and workflow with the trends, this will help you in understanding the pattern that is coming across in the in-process details that might be latter helpful for you to draft your annual product quality review report, interface with SAP and ERP and other quality management solutions. So we are always open. We believe that the data which is available, it should be at the disposal of a customer, and we should make it as helpful for the customer as it can be without much duplication. So we have several examples and experience in the interfacing of SAP and other quality management solution. Ready to go workflow for equipment integration. Let us say you started with a batch record, electronic batch record, and just 6 months down the line you want to go with equipment integration. That's great. You can start it. After 6 months, we have a ready to go workflow because we understand it in much detail, and in systems we'll be able to do it with ease. We have taken so much time and understood batch records. Now, what is there beyond batch records? Because we are speaking today about end-to-end automation. You are here for similar purpose. You want to take care of your batch records and the practices that are occurring. So what we have to offer as beyond the batch record is, the first thing is your equipment lifecycle. In the same system, you will be able to maintain your equipment lifecycle, where your equipment request, the URS part of it, the quotation request, quotation received, vendor evaluation, technical commercial comparison of it, and then the vendor finalization and vendor service. At the same time, the final step, which is the decommissioning of the machine, can also be taken care in the system itself, so that any paper across the equipment lifecycle that you're using will be eliminated. Now, with this as an equipment, this has a very added advantage for any engineering team or the maintenance team that is in the organization. Now coming to much more beyond, which is electronic log, which I was speaking just 2 slides ago, is what kind of logbooks that you can take in. So you have 3 segments. We have segmented it in 3 ways. The first is the operational part, the production, packing, analysis. The second one is the non-operational part, which is like cleaning, calibration, preventive maintenance, breakdown, and services. So usually we get questions like, why do you felt the need of adding calibration, preventive maintenance, breakdown, and services in a logbook? So our usual answer is, we understand that these things are not different from the logbook part because these are dependent on each other. If the calibration is due, it should not allow any user for its operational activity. As simple as that. Now, coming to the operational part of it, the production, packing, and analysis will be done. The e-registers part of it, the quality assurance, your quality assurance logbooks and registers, the quality control, warehouse, and any other logbooks that are there. The another good news that I have is the punches and dice logbooks that we have in our offer in our latest version upgrade. So the tools, punching tools, your registration of those punches, your issuing of those punches, you have certain set of limit, like after 5 lakh tablets you want to re-inspect those punches. The rules, the system will take care of it for you. Further, other than that, finally the polishing part of it and the discarding part of it as well. Now we understand that there'll be set of punches that will be issued, like your 1 to 51, then if there is anything going wrong. So these kind of minute details are also taken care of in the system. The business rules, which I mentioned, so each and every organization, whether they call it with different names, we know that there is a type A, type B cleaning, wet dry cleaning, serial non-serialized cleaning, your batch product changeover cleaning. So these rules are also taken care by the system. At the same time, there might be a scenario where the cleaning time period will be expired. You clean an equipment, then it was not used for 15 days. It is supposed to be cleaned again. The system will take care of that as well. Now with all of this data, you want it to be displayed, you want it to be predicted, and you want it to be shown in a better format and better way. What's better than dashboards? So if you can see on screen, this is one specimen sample where engineering head will have its own dashboard where he'll be able to see the preventive maintenance calibration planned actual versus today. So they'll be able to see what is the maintenance done, pending, overdue, what was the other ways of describing it. At the same time, the e-log usage report, where you can see that what are the equipments ready for usage, what are under maintenance, the maintenance status, who all are under preventive maintenance, calibration, and cleaning. At the same time, the area status report, the warehouse, what is its present status, is it operational or is it free, it is non-operational. Then you have per area the equipments, is it ready for usage, what is the batch that is running in that area. At the same time, with all of this data, you want to have better analytics where you'll be able to derive the OEE part of it. The idle time is there. Now if you see, the production part is also taken care in the logbook, the cleaning part is also taken in the logbook. Now the idle part is left. Now having that formula at place, you'll be having OE percentage calculated by the system for you. Now as I was mentioning you about the part of how it is flexible for you to upgrade yourself or implement yourself into the manufacturing automation. So if you see here, it's a small Gantt chart which will tell you can start small with e-log, which is paper on glass part, and you'll go live it within 3 months. Now the next step is the go live, the interfaces, the SAP interface, the ERP interfaces. You can do it within a month span. Phase 2, you're comfortable enough, you're going with online eBRM, added in-process checks and material weighing and dispensing. Post that, going live in 3 months. In-process instrument integration, making them interfaced with the batch records and executing them online. Finally, the equipment integration. That is the go live of phase 3. Now, within a span of 1 year and at your comfort level, you are able to automate your complete manufacturing end to end. The other modules that are available in eLog is configuration, equipment manager, and system manager, which will take care of the configuration of the logbooks, the equipment manager part of it, equipment master details part of it, and the system manager will take care of your 21 CFR Part 11 compliance. The functionality flow is pretty simple. Design a usage log, which is nothing but your format or logbook. Assign respective area or user group who are privileged enough to access it. Then the execution itself, the usage or the transaction itself. While this all is going on, the reports are generated as per your format and with the data that is executed. Now, with this, you will be able to have your miscellaneous items. Like, for example, you don't want, when you enter into an area, you will be able to see what are the equipments available in that area so that you need not skip multiple screens. At the same time, the miscellaneous item like your drain points which are there can also be added here in the system. With this, your checklist. Now, checklist also is a very important and integral part of any manufacturing batch record or process for that matter. So your checklist for your preventive maintenance, pre-startup checklist, any checklist that will be designed in the system and executed in the system as well. The other business rules. The report configuration part of it, which I was mentioning, if you see here, these are the columns. So you will be selecting what columns you want in your report, and then what filters you want it to filter it then. And these reports can be available for you as a PDF. Now coming to the other part of the machine integration with the BRM. So if you see on the screen, here are your shop floor machines, which can be anything. Now these machines, we will be able to put a data acquisition system above it. The notification systems, alarm, events, deviations, this will be giving the notifications. Now this data will be shared in the central database, where we will be pulling in the data what is required to be seen in the batch record. And then parallelly, your analytical systems like OE, KPIs, and dashboards will be sharing the data, as well as presentation systems where your supervisors will be able to do the machine supervision as well as the batch tracking. At the same time, your utilities, like your utilities which are supposed to be upgraded to 21 CFR, and as well as your process instruments, these can be done. Above that, we will be centralizing them as well through our other products, and centralizing the data will be available in the data aggregator, which will be shared at different levels. If you have the IoT or ML related expectations, we'll be able to share that data. The plant head and all will be having their part of analytics and what are their expectations, and then the senior management ERP will also be taking care of the data. And in case you want to print this reports as a PDF, yes, those are available for you. And finally, the batch and production related data will be available for the IPQ. So this is one small specimen example where there are different production lines. If you see, there are 8 areas, and 8 areas have different production lines. They have the LAN switch here and the GSM modem. So this is where through we have also ensured the double node for redundant operation. So this data will be shared through a database server, which will mutually transfer the data to a central server, and sharing parallelly with our servers and available for the remote users to use it. So the BRM that we have is one eBRM for any industry. If you are from a formulation API, sterile API, no problem. FMCG, biosimilar, cannabis testing, medical devices, bulk chemical, automobiles, petroleum, this system will serve your need. At the same time, it will ensure a consistency and increase in your productivity while giving you edge in the market, where you can proudly say that we are automated and we are up ahead of our time. This is our existing success stories, hoping you will also join in this list. There are much more that has been added recently, which are under implementation. As we have spoken about the batch record management, I would like to take a moment of yours to make you understand what are the other solutions that Caliber has to offer, where we call it as integrated quality management company, which Caliber is the alone company which offers you the same. Caliber LIMS, which is laboratory information management system, which is our flagship product, will take care of your QC sample related transactions, and the Caliber QMS, which is quality assurance management system, which takes care of your change control, deviation, CAPA, market compliance, and in a similar manner, 21 other processes in your quality assurance that will be automated through this system. Caliber BRM, the one which we spoke just now, Caliber DMS, which will